Hello, my name is Jorb. I love gear. If you've been around the channel for a while, you'll remember last Halloween I did Resonant Screams, a chilling tale of haunted synthesis, as a Halloween special, a late Halloween special. And despite weeks of filming and editing and mixing and everything else, it didn't do very well. And I guess at the time I only had 180 subs, but it was so much work for the return. I'm not going to do a part 2. This episode is just going to be a normal episode, okay? This Halloween special is about gear you can't get rid of. Either they're essential to your setup, they do something nothing else can, or there's something sentimental. And I bring up Resonant Screams because for me, it's the AX60. It's something I'm attached to for 100 reasons. I think it's interesting to have come out when it did. I think it does interesting things. I think it sounds good. And beyond all that, I spent so much time trying to get it fixed. And even if I don't use it that often, I can't ever imagine getting rid of it. So, with all that in mind, let me demonstrate some of the sounds that really make me love it. Come on. God, I can't believe this is happening again. I paid them to unhaunt this thing. God, all that money, all that time for what?
Hey, this is the Haunted Gear Repair.
Hi, you fixed my AX60 a year ago, but it's haunted again or still haunted. How?
That isn't really possible.
What do you mean it's not possible? It's in there screaming right now.
Well, did it keep screaming after you unplugged it?
Yeah, it did, but why would you not ask that? How would you not ask that?
Yeah, that sounds more like a possession than a haunting. Common mistake.
What do you mean? How different could they really be?
Oh, buddy, way different. A haunting, you can get fixed, but a possession, that's the sort of problem you have to solve yourself. You'll need a vessel to contain the keyboard.
Solve myself. It always turns into that. Unbelievable. I cannot believe I paid them. I have to solve this myself. What does it even mean? Even more trouble for a synth I don't even use. Okay, that should have done it. What? Someone has to have had this problem before. Not that. Not this. And that's not right. None of these. Gear Attachment Spirit, or GAS, is a common type of minor synth demon. Its mischief can easily be mistaken for that of a synth ghost. That's what I want. A cis exorcism. The name's not funny. Performing a cis exorcism on a synth possessed by a GAS. Originally posted in 2009. No promises that this will work for you, but it did for me. Saved my D50 when I thought nothing else could. The process for a synth exorcism is relatively straightforward, but requires some specific
components. And every single step is important, all the way to the last. If I have any reason to follow up, I'll add it in a comment later.
Yeah, I'll read the whole thing. You'll need a vessel.
This will contain the keyboard while you work, preferably a case fitted for the affected synth. Dusty and gray is best, but anything that's the right size. The vessel should be prepared with objects acquired from failed synth journeys. These objects are for focusing energy from the rest of our ritual. You should gather them first. Like all gear rituals, the first ingredient will be knobs. You'll need a handful of mismatched knobs, maybe gathered over time for projects you never finished or repairs you never found time for. This shows a demon that you're familiar with DIY, and it has reason to be afraid of your technical knowledge, or at least your go-getter attitude. Next, loose keys from something other than a synthesizer. Could be a toy keyboard, a MIDI controller, maybe just a keyboard sampler, but not a synthesizer. These are to trick the demon into thinking it's in a safe and familiar environment, when in reality, the vessel will be quite hostile. The final focusing object, a memory card for holding synth patches. Ideally, something you should have shipped off with a synth you sold long ago and have kept even though you have never and will never have a reason to use it. This will give the demon a place to be sealed away, a final resting place once you've completed the summoning sequence. We can move on to choosing synths for your summoning sequence. Since we're dealing with a GAS, each is representative of a different gear buying experience. A synth you got a good deal on. Doesn't have to be an amazing deal, just less than would be reasonable on the used market. A synth you paid too much for. Same idea, but for this one, a piece where you got too excited for what could be and ignored the reality of its price tag. A synth that deserves more attention. It could be a sleeper hit or something that just never caught on, so long as it has fallen out of favor with the synth community at large. A synth that everyone has had. The sort of thing that shows up on Craigslist every few weeks. You know it when you see it, and so does everyone who understands an oscillator. And last but not least, something to sequence the whole setup. No significance to the ritual, you just need everything else to be in sync. It has to be hardware, since this is a doll-less ceremony, of course. It wouldn't sound good if it wasn't.
With your gear assembled, this is a good time to turn out the lights. Our attention is back to the vessel. Place it within view of your circle of synths, where within it, we will align the focusing objects to optimize their effectiveness. The knobs should be scattered evenly across the open case, keeping as many in contact with the affected synth as possible. Next, the broken keys. Form a sort of fence along the perimeter of the case. This boundary of retention, so that the demon cannot escape through any openings on the outside of the vessel, because it will certainly try. Finally, the memory card. Place it in the center of the case, just below the heart of where the affected synth is about to lay. With your vessel prepared,
all that remains is to perform your summoning sequence. The exact composition cannot be defined, but it is absolutely essential that you make it horrifying. It should invoke the same sort of terror you felt when you first heard the resonant screams of your own possessed gear.
no, that was every step. I know it. It's still screaming. I didn't miss anything. I know it. Oh shit. There's a follow comment. One final thing. It seems the rest of the ritual isn't that important as long as you accept in the end that even if you love a piece of gear, even if it is important to you, if you aren't using it at all, it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go.
Hello, my name is Jorb. I love gear. Today I'm talking about a simple idea, and it isn't true for anybody, but I think it might be true for me. If you have a bunch of hardware and you find there's something you aren't using, even if you like it, you don't find yourself sitting down to play it, sometimes the right idea is to let it go, to pass it on, to free up that money to try something else, to experience something new, and let somebody else feel the same things you felt when you loved that keyboard, while you had that keyboard. And I don't mean this in a sad way, and I don't mean it in a noble way, but why have something collecting dust when you can experience something new?